Hi, my name is Bubba Daddy. This video is a reading from my book, Daddy's Story. Obviously, it's my first book. I've had a few requests to do some readings, and that's why I'm doing these readings today. Today's video is the introduction, which will be the first 6.5 pages of my book. The book is available from Amazon. You can follow my story on all of my social media accounts. They will show up every now and then across the screen. Also, the accounts are listed below in my description as well. The story itself is a painful one for me, but I do hope you enjoy the reading. And as I said, I do plan to do more in the future as well. Just a quick one, my face isn't shown because I do have to use a pen name and I have to be hidden. So just to protect some identities, the main one obviously being my daughter, and that's the reason why I'm being hidden. But look, I hope you enjoy the reading. If you do enjoy this reading, please support me via my social media accounts that I do have. Thank you for watching, and look, as my tagline goes, share the story, be the story. Thank you.
This story is dedicated to my daughter. I hope and pray that one day you will understand everything. I want to begin this story for you by describing or mentioning just a few lines from a well-known song. By luck, maybe, I originally heard this song at the right time. It was a moment of my life where I was unsure about everything going on around me. This particular song is a song that I heard whilst I was going through the insane torture of the issues and troubles that I had to fight. I never set out to hear this song. To be honest, I never took notice of it prior to this day, even though I knew of it, but I only knew the tune and not the words. That day I randomly heard it on the radio whilst I was driving home from work to an empty house, as your mum had the privilege of having you that weekend as you were set to stay at your nanny's house. The song instantly hit home. Every word I heard was exactly how I felt inside. It had anger, it had frustration. You could feel the agony within the words being sung. But also at the same time it was telling me that I had a reason to be here. The song made sense that my story, my life that I was living had to be told. It was from that moment it became a motivational tool for me. Whilst I wrote this book, I would frequently listen to this to help me understand my clear goal and target I had set myself. Because believe me, there was numerous times I had thought you shouldn't have to hear our story, and many times where I just gave up on the whole idea. There is no need for me to place the fact that a song meant something to me within this story, but I just want to begin the story with a few key lines from the song before I allow you to read on. I want you to see or try to understand that I am only human and that sometimes we take for granted who we are and what we are, and then there are those who don't care or feel for other people's emotions. So please understand I had to write this story for you and maybe for the whole world to read and digest. The song itself is a very well-known song. As you will find out, I refuse to name people within this book, and although maybe I should highlight the song title and the artist, I am going to stick to my guns and not do so. But I know you're smart, and I know with all the tools we have at our disposal, you will easily find all the details for the song if you ever wish to do so. Here are a few of the lines that meant so much because it feels like every word was written for me by me. You've got the words to change a nation, but you're biting your tongue. You've spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you'll say something wrong. If no one ever hears it, how are we gonna learn your song? You've got a heart as loud as lions, so why let your voice be tamed? You've got the lights to fight the shadows, so stop hiding it away. If the truth has been forbidden, then we're breaking all the rules. There's no need to be afraid. When did we all get so fearful? I want to shout, I want to scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers. I'm not afraid. They can read all about it. So that's what I did. I wrote you my story, and I don't care who reads it. I don't care if no one understands it, as long as you're the sole person who does. That's my goal. I never went through hell for them, only you. To my dear daughter, never did I once ever feel or think I'd ever need to express myself the way I'm about to. Never did I ever feel I'd ever write my own daughter a story like this. But no one will ever understand how I feel or understand the experiences I have been put through, except you. I've always from a young age liked to write down my views, always liked to tell stories based on my life, so it's no surprise that it's come to this. I've always been like this because I feel no trust in anyone. I ultimately feel I'm alone in this world, battling my own wars but never winning. It hurts me to write you such a story that emotionally has drained every little bit of strength I have built up, a story which has knocked every ounce of confidence I have within me, a story which hand on heart has brought me to my lowest in my whole life with no ending in sight. You need to understand this story is real. Every word I write has happened. I know in time you will forget everything I have done for you. It also hurts me that you won't realise how strong I was for you, how I fought for you, how I tried to stop harm from ever getting near you. But your dad wants you to remember, and I want you to be proud of who you are, because I never went through all this alone. You lived through it as well, and that to me makes you as strong as me. You, my dear girl, have been the one who saved me from endless fears any human being could have, fears that, believe me, you only hear about that end up in tragedy. You will never know how much you did to save your dad, but I am going to explain all in this story. I am just so thankful I had you by my side. I am so thankful you were such a daddy's girl. You are the sole reason I've managed to somehow get through this struggle and stayed out of trouble. I just want you to picture the moment I began to write the story, because I want to set you in the mood that maybe I was in, just so you may have a feeling of how I felt. It's late at night in a house that is quiet, in a house I hate because all I see and feel within the house are images that show me what a fool I was. Images that show me exactly what I've lost more than what I have gained. I have no friends and my family unaware of the pain I have inside my heart, and the questions I have keep spinning in my head and never stop as I have no answers to anything I want to know. You're laying by my side, you're fast asleep, unaware of what's happening to your family, unaware of how your dad, a man who is your comfort blanket, is truly feeling. I felt like a bad dad, like I let you down when I couldn't find faults in anything I ever did. I feel lonely and in need to speak to someone, but I have no one I can turn to. In my eyes, I have no one who is willing to listen or even help without them continuously rubbing my one mistake in my eyes. This is a mistake I did for my family, a mistake because I wanted the best for you. That mistake was leaving all my friends and family, putting more stress my way, all for the sake of what your mum wanted. In other words, I trusted your mum, trusted that she wanted the best for you too. Most of the people I know, if I spoke to them, will continuously tell me that they were right and that I should have listened to them. How can I ever confide in people like this? These are the people that have made me shut away from the world. It's at this moment, feeling lonely and anxious to talk, when I reach for my laptop to write the story, to express my feelings. But I didn't know how to start, and I still didn't know why I wanted to write down what had happened. Surely me writing down my thoughts would make me feel worse, so I put the laptop down and gave you a kiss and cuddled next to you to sleep. About 5 minutes later, it dawned on me. You were the reason for me to write. I had a reason to write my story, a story that would show you who your dad was, a story to make you feel proud of your dad, as he did everything and anything for you. I originally began to write the story in chapters, and like a fictional story. However, I didn't like the way it was coming out. It made no sense to me as I read it back. It had no structure. It seemed made up. I couldn't feel my emotion in my writing. In fact, the type of writing I was doing was incredibly hard for me to do. I had to think about what I was writing. I just wanted my writing to flow out my mind. What made it worse was that as I wrote, more and more things were being aimed at me. More circumstances were being created that were making me fade away, some which ultimately made me give up on the book because emotionally I was drained. Emotionally, some would say I gave up on everything. The thought that maybe one day I will die and leave your side sank into my thoughts. I couldn't leave your side and for you to be none the wiser of what had happened. I somehow regained the energy within myself to begin my story so I could tell you again. I thought long and hard how to write my story. My story was real. In no way was it fictional. In no way could I write my story in chapters. My story couldn't be broken down. This story was and will always be one continuous interlinking story. I then realised the book was for you. I stopped thinking about anyone else that may read the book, and I thought about how I would tell you, which brings me to the way I have chose and have written the story. It's me, your daddy, telling you, my daughter, his story. I've left the story real, which means the occasional grammar and maybe the occasional word used is not politically correct. You know what? I really don't care. This story, as I said, is about me telling you, and it's all my emotion coming from my heart. It's my inner thoughts. The words and the way I tell you are about how and who I am, and not how the world perceives how it should and must be written. If that's what they want, then they should go and get a bestseller. So please bear in mind as you read on, the story you will read has parts written as it was happening to me. There may be circumstances you will read and think that my thoughts are very harsh, a bit extreme, but at that particular time, that is exactly how I felt, and I am never going to hide away from how low I was. To be honest, I've read everything back to myself on numerous occasions, and everything I've written is still something I believe in. It's to show you how far I was pushed. Remember, everything I do and will do is for you. You are my life. I will not say sorry for saying something I believe in or doing something I would fight for.